Welcome back to the David Pakman Show.
Okay, a couple of new members I want to say hello to. Members of the week on the David Pakman Show, Scott Kelly and Mark Keefe. Lewis's newest, what would we call them? I don't know. Minions, so to speak. Even though really Lewis works for them, let me be honest. Lewis is actually at the disposition of the membership family. Mm-hmm. So thanks to Scott Kelly and Mark Keefe for becoming members. And make sure to not only should you be a member of the David Pakman Show, which Lewis, how many people did you sign up in Turkey while you were there?
To be perfectly honest, only 7,000. No,
Very
zero,
good.
David, zero.
Right. Okay. Very good. Lewis doing his job. Not only should you be a member, you should do all of your Amazon.com shopping through the black banner on davidpakman.com, especially with the holidays coming up. If you're getting anybody a Thanksgiving gift, do people give gifts for Thanksgiving?
No.
They could start.
No? Yeah. Give the gift of Pakman.
Right. Or if you're buying anybody anything on Amazon, use the black banner on davidpakman.com. I want to talk about two candidates, and I actually argue that neither one of these is really a serious candidate. First, I want to talk about Herman Cain, and second, I'd like to talk about our friend Rick Perry. First to Herman Cain. Two things on Herman Cain. Number two will be the bizarre smoking ad. Believe me, we have all the video. I've been examining it like the Zapruder film, frame by frame. Let's figure out exactly what's going on in these videos. But before we get to that, Lewis, I want to talk about Herman Cain's numerology fixation. This is not being talked about very much, and it's indicative of mental illness or at least extreme levels of bizarre thinking, I would say. Actually, you know what? I don't think it is mental illness. I'm going to take that back. I think it is actually, I'll get to that. I actually have some more specific thoughts on that. Herman Cain is obsessed with the number 45, okay? And Lewis, you believe in the supernatural, you believe in psychics, you believe in fortune telling and magic and all sorts of stuff, and shamans and all sorts of things. So I'm curious to get your reaction about Herman Cain's obsession with the number 45.
There's no end to Dave putting words in my mouth.
Maybe 999 came from the 45 stuff, because what's 4 plus 5, Lewis?
9.
Exactly. And maybe that's where the 999 plan came from. And in Chapter 9 of This is Herman Cain, there's a chapter entitled 45, a special number. Herman Cain is obsessed with the number 45. He talks about his conception, gestation, and birth occurred in 1945, along with everybody else who was conceived from March 1st going forward, of course, millions and millions of people, but right. Herman Cain does have that. Then he goes into how 45 just keeps on popping up as he goes about his business. He would be what president of the United States if he were to be elected?
45.
Exactly. And he is about to celebrate which wedding anniversary in 2013?
45.
Exactly. In some cases, it's only part of the number, which is what makes it even more absurd. Like one time, one of Herman Cain's weekly commentaries was 645 words. So he thought that was significant also in terms of 45. Once he wrapped up a campaign on Flight 1045. And what altitude was the flight traveling at, Lewis?
45,000.
You got it. Exactly right. So as you can see, 45 is big, very big for Herman Cain. Once he was in Las Vegas at a campaign event and he met a very nice couple. And they were celebrating their 45th wedding anniversary. So as you can see, 45 is big. Well, it's a sign.
There might be something to this, because if you take my age and you subtract 3.5 years.
You'd be 24 and a half.
No, wait. Make that 4.5 years.
23 and a half.
5.5 years.
What are you getting at?
If you okay. I have 5 fingers on one hand, right?
Right.
So if you take my age and subtract 5, okay, you have 22 and a half.
Yeah.
Right? So if you multiply that by 2, which is how many eyes I have, what do you get?
This is a goof, right? Honestly, Lewis, I don't know what Lewis is talking about.
After that comment, I have to say that Herman Cain was a mathematician. He got a Bachelor of Science in math. Maybe he's right. Maybe 45 is a significant number.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a coincidence, Dave.
Honestly, I can't tell if Lewis is being serious right now. Okay, when is this going to come up? When are people going to say that Herman Cain is obsessed with numerology and the number 45? And what I want to get to the mental illness thing, I've read quite a bit about these number obsessions in preparing for this segment. And there's a lot of stuff written about this. And one notable psychologist says that while the tendency to see signs in the natural world is by no means a symptom of psychiatric disorder, there's an interesting neurocognitive range to it, which is that people with autism spectrum disorders have a complete lack of ability to discern these number signs, okay, to see, to read signs into everyday life. Whereas those on the paranoid schizophrenic side believe everything is a sign, right? Everything's a personal message. Everything is tailored to them, whether it's numbers or words or whatever. Most people are somewhere between those two poles. So, I don't know, maybe Herman Cain
So
is
he's closer to the schizophrenic side.
I guess if we're to say Herman Cain, based on the numerology obsession, is closer to a schizophrenic than an autistic person.
He could be a paraphrenic.
Right.
Right, Natan?
Explain that, Natan. All right, I'll explain it.
No,
It would
I'll explain it.
Okay.
I think that was our David Miller diagnosis.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
Yeah, it's that the person is schizophrenic or crazy about one aspect in their lives, but
otherwise normal.
They seem to be totally normal.
They appear to be normal, right? The thing is, Herman Cain doesn't really appear to be normal otherwise. In other words, if we eliminate his 45 obsession, he's not just a normal guy.
I know that this guy is like a self-help guy. He gives motivational speeches and whatnot.
Right.
Does he talk about 45 during those speeches?
I don't know. I would love to know that.